So I know it's been a while. Yeah, that's not a good sign. And it's been actually. Let me look actually. Hold on. How long has it been since I last uploaded? Oh my God, 3 weeks. Yeah. So how do I even start this video? I guess I should bring up the fact that I'm in Florida. Um, yeah, I'm on vacation. I completely didn't even think about what would go into going on vacation. I kind of just did it. And man, bad idea. Just, excuse me. You know, if you're gonna go on vacation, make sure that you logistically have everything that you need to bring with you because I forgot my capture card. I thought about bringing my capture card. I told myself I wouldn't, and then at the last minute, I was like, you know what? I will bring my capture card because that's a good idea. No, no, no bad idea at all. I have no bad ideas, only good ideas. And I didn't bring my capture card. Instead, I brought this shitty mic. It's not that shitty, actually. It's not like a shitty mic, but it's alright, I guess. It does the job. Very, alright, I guess? I don't know. This mic it's decent. It'll be what I'm working with for a while. Um, Now, when do I go home? Uh, June 1st, I think. Important thing though is just that this is only like a temporary. This is just a temporary thing. I'm on vacation. Um, I'm a little more unorganized than usual because this is post commentary. The footage you're seeing is not me playing the game, and you can tell because I'm not pausing in my walking, and also my speech is very ugh. But what exactly does this mean for uploading stuff? Well, uh, ever since I threw out my schedule, I guess I should probably just bring up the fact of, well, I don't have a schedule, so I'll do things when I do things. I want to. I have two-ish videos that I want to do. Because I know that it seems weird that I have that Clash Mini video that exists. In a vacuum, it's weird, and I realize that tonally it doesn't really make sense. I've got Lethal Company, I've got some TF2, and then there's just a Clash Mini video. And it's not even footage of the game. It's literally just the devs talking about the game, which, come to think of it, I shouldn't really have a standard of like what I want on the channel because it's whatever I want to put on the channel can go on the channel. And I wanted to make a video on Clash Mini, so and I was gonna make a video talking about what I thought about the game closing down and just my thoughts on the game in general. And what ended up happening is I needed to gather footage for the game. Well, game server shut down. So I was like, okay, that's a problem. But luckily, past me had recordings of the game. I have about 2 hours of footage of the game. Hopefully, it's footage that's watchable enough to have me talk, just jibber jabber for a little bit. And unfortunately, I didn't get a lot of footage because 2 hours really isn't that much. And honestly, I do miss that game. That game was really fun. For a mobile game, that game was fun. The gameplay loop was enjoyable, and I honestly, each stage of development in that game was really interesting to look at. But also, I have a Lethal Company video that I'm working. I know, a lot of Lethal Company. Um, I have the raw file is 6 hours long, and that doesn't take into account for because it was from the beta when the beta was still like fresh. Like right as we like had access to the beta, Jade and Oliver and we played it for about 6 hours. And not only do I have the footage of my footage from my perspective. If I remember correctly, that should be the first video where I can have Jade's perspective, which would be really useful. Um, but if not, then, well, that's alright. At some point, some of the footage I'll be working with will have her perspective, which is going to be really fun to mess with. It's going to be fun doing multiple different perspectives, because, well, I guess to put it lightly, when I'm doing stuff in Lethal Company, it's usually boring. It's usually very boring for a viewer, not for me. For me, it's interesting. But, um, what else? What else? Oh yeah, um, Don't Starve Together is a game that I played recently, and I found it to be incredibly interesting. I played it, I say recently, I think it was a month ago, but I played it and I knew nothing about it. And it was one of those games that I had just bought, and despite the fact that I had no clue anything about the game, the only thing I knew was the War Talks animated short at the time when I bought it. I liked that, and I had saw like maybe tiny little snippets and stuff of it, and I saw a video that Foco made on it at the time, um, and according to him, it was enjoyable, and I was like, okay, Foco plays a lot of games that I enjoy, so sure, I'll give it a shot. But also is on sale. The primary driver of all things, the sales, But I got Don't Starve Together, didn't touch it for years, and then I played it a while back. It was great. I played Wilson, and I had an idea for kind of a series to do, and it was gonna be Don't Starve Together. I'm gonna be playing it solo when I play it. I don't know if I'm ready to record with friends just yet. But I'm gonna be going into Don't Starve Together, knowing nothing, and I'm gonna play every character with the knowledge that I currently have. Because Don't Starve Together is a game that I know very little about. Oddly enough, it's like Terraria in the sense that you do have to look up a lot of stuff, but Don't Starve I at least found to be it was interesting and it was fun. Whereas with Terraria, and I'm saying this with maybe about 300 hours in Terraria, I I don't enjoy Terraria. Do not ever expect Terraria to be something I play on this channel or in general. Um, I never want Terraria to be an expectation, because if I ever have to stoop that low, then you'll know I'm not having fun while playing it. Like, I had fun playing Terraria for a little bit. It's fun in small doses, but Terraria as a game is like, okay, with Don't Starve Together, when I played Don't Starve, I played it with a friend, and I having somebody who knew something about the game to introduce me to the game was great, because they didn't just tell me everything, you know? It was like when I played Lethal Company for the first time. Um, I didn't just be told everything. Because when I played with my friends in Lethal Company, I played with Sean, Bryce, and Cabot at the time. When I played with them, they didn't tell me anything actually. They really just told me, like, here's how you scan, here's how you pick stuff up. We go gather loot, and then we come back before nighttime, and that was all I knew. And going into the game blind was great. I went into Don't Starve Together blind, and I knew very little about the game. I just knew that nighttime was dangerous, so you need like a light. I knew that hunger is, and it goes back and forth. Some characters apparently are like a pain for hunger, whether it be early game or not. Um, the character that I heard was absolutely just ugh, don't like them in the early game was Warley, I think his name is. Because apparently Warley is picky. He's a picky eater. He's like me. But I played Wilson. Wilson's fun. He's all right. I see. I don't know how Wilson stacks up to the rest of the cast because I haven't touched any other character. The first video I'm gonna make is probably gonna be using Wilson actually, and I'll probably record it tonight if I'm not tired. because what time am I recording this audio? It's at 9:30 at night. It's in Florida, which is weird because adjusting to Florida's time zone, it's a 3-hour difference from my home state of Oregon. And I thought it would have been I thought it would have been easier to adjust to it, but my body is still trying to do, in case you don't know this, I sleep in bursts. I can't sleep the whole night away. I will sleep 2 to 4 hours, around that much per burst, and I will kind of just all anytime I can get a moment to sleep, I'll sleep for 2 to 3 hours. And at nighttime, I try so hard to sleep through the whole night. It's awful. I can't do it. It's like it's an awful experience trying to sleep the whole night for me. I've never been able to just go the full night. I'll either wake up right as morning hits, like I I can I have to be really fatigued to go through the whole night, and it's insane. I hate it. It drives me insane to try and sleep the whole night. I can do it. I just have to be really tired. But Don't Starve Together is going to be it's what I'm craving in a sense. I I'm starting to get that itch again to do content. And it was funny because I didn't think it had been so long since my last video, but my last video was apparently Solo Company 2 from 3 weeks ago, which was crazy to think about. I didn't realize how much time I had spent not making videos. And it came to me as a surprise. I I really liked the Mario Kart video, the Mario Kart time trials video. My only issue is just that I got the audio incorrect. I got the audio incorrect, and there's no way for me to fix it. Like I unfortunately the first Mario Kart video I will do because at some point when I get home, because I don't have the capture card, I have the Switch with me, but I don't have the capture card. At some point when I get home, I will fix how audio is done, so that way it doesn't capture double audio, so to say. Also, I would turn off the fan in this room to record audio, except no, I wouldn't. It's Florida. It's good luck trying to live in good luck living in Florida without air conditioning. Oh my goodness. Like, what's the temperature right now? Florida temperature. I have to make this. It's 75 Fahrenheit or 24 Celsius, which is crazy to think that it's nighttime right now and it's this hot. Like, this is like the hottest day in Oregon. Except for when Oregon's having like, except for when Oregon wants to burn down and have like a sun scorcher. But that's what I've been up to. What have you guys been up to? What am I saying that? What? This isn't. No, okay. I'm giving an update on the channel. Oh yeah. Things may get a little wonky. I mean, they already have gotten a pretty wonky with regards to me uploading stuff. And the reason for that is I'm getting to the end of high school. I I'm a senior, and I kind of am at that point where, like, it's funny I say this because you should be thinking about what you want to do after high school before you even get into freshman year. And I was in that mindset of what do I want to do? But I have so many different things that I have like a spark of interest for that could easily ignite into more interest. But I focus like with video editing, when I start working on my editing, it I love it. I love doing edits for the content I do on this channel. I know I don't do a lot of edits, but when I do actually do edits, I love it because there's just something about it. And not all edits I do for videos are for videos that end up on the channel. Some of it's just stuff that never appears anywhere. And I think I could love video editing, and I could see myself doing that in college. And then I look at I look at my chemistry work, And I also see like that's something I might also want to do in college. I also see that I like physics. And it just turns into this, what do I want to do after high school? Do I want to do college? Do I want to do it in America? Do I, where do I want to move? And I need to figure a part of that out. And unfortunately, because life is a balancing act and we cannot just stay up all night, um, at some point, I guess you can already see it. The channel's gonna slip underway. The last month, the channel kind of slipped underway because I was focusing on a few different things, but it's kind of saddening to me because I like making videos. I know I have made almost no content whatsoever. A lot of it's privated, but it's just there's something about it. The videos that I've made already, I'm primarily looking at the last 6. So like Clash Mini talks about what's next for the future through Solo Company 2. There's like the Clash Mini video was no effort. The only effort was like, I don't know, waking up on time to like be there, and even then I was 20 minutes late. But like the first Solo Company video was great. I I loved putting the amount of effort I put into it, but man, I don't think I could like, cause I made that video over the course of a week, and I don't know if I could do that again in terms of turning 2 hours into a 10-minute video that's watchable, because unfortunately, I'm just not that interesting. There's not much you can really get out of me that's interesting, I guess. When I play games, I'll ramble, and I just I I think I talk about it in Solo Company 2. There's a point where I talk about how I talk when I'm not supposed to, and then when I'm supposed to, I don't. And what I mean by that is I absolutely can't help but end up I can't help but end up constantly. It's like I'll talk and a dog will walk by me, um, or or I'll have a moment where like there's something that I'm thinking about that would be interesting to talk about, like how landmines can spawn on fire exit doors. Like I'll think about that, and I won't articulate it. I won't talk about it. I won't say anything, and it's like it's something that I can talk to myself for hours if you let me go. I'm doing that right now. I'm literally staring at my laptop. This is my laptop. I'm just staring at a laptop, just talking to myself. And I'm scared to do it, but I I want to I this rambling that I have, I ramble to myself so much, but I never actually put it to use. And I should realize that I now have an outlet to actually ramble. I have an outlet. Excuse me. Oh God, I really do apologize. I have an outlet to express what I'm thinking at a given moment in time, and I'm not using it. And I'm a fool for not using it because I could have the capability of whether it's communicating with 2 people or 20 people, because that's kind of like the scope of how many people I assume watch my stuff. Um, I don't assume many people watch my stuff. The point is, I I have the ability to actually not just ramble for once, but I can ramble and then take a recording of it, put it over footage, or ramble while doing something, and having it uploaded would give me an ability for me to look at the past. Because something we don't really have a lot of is time, and, well, I guess I'm wrong. We have a lot of time, but what we don't realize until we've either messed up and wish we could go back, or it's too late, is that while we may have a lot of time on our hands, the time that we spend, we can never get back. And it makes what we focus on very important, but we can't worry too much or it will consume us entirely. And what I'm getting at is when I'm older, I want to at least be able to look back and see some of my tendencies and see how I behaved, but also how I thought. And this is an opportunity for me to effectively preserve a point in my life I will never get back, which is my childhood. This is the end of my childhood. And I say the end of my childhood, but I really mean is I'd say that because I'm 17, but I think that the years of 17 looking to 25 will probably be the end of my childhood in a sense, which doesn't sound like it's going to happen very quickly, but time goes by. For me, months can go by like it's nothing, and it's kind of a scary thought because, if you let time fully go by without thinking about it, you end up in the ground just like that. And I want to have a time capsule, whether it's a year from now, actually, no, a week from now, a month from now, a year from now. It could be a decade from now. It doesn't matter. And even if I never look back on this, someone will. I mean, that's kind of the beauty of it, is somebody will find this footage and they might get something out of it. And it's an important thing. I I find myself absolutely hating my own tendencies because I've been procrastinating creating this audio for the last 2 or 3 days. And I hate my laziness. I have so many ideas of what I want to do and what I want to achieve, and just getting my foot on the ground alone is so hard for me that it really does irritate me. But I always have to remember that I can't get mad at myself, because if I do, then I'm losing time still, because I see the issue. Now I just got to fix the issue. If I get mad at myself, then I'm just going to be sitting here bickering and I won't be doing anything. And I guess if there's one thing you could take away from this, if you see yourself doing a negative thing and you don't like that and you get frustrated at yourself, stop. Don't get frustrated at yourself, because you did an important step, which is realizing that you're doing the mistake that you're doing wrong. Don't get irritated at yourself, because that can make you spiral. Because you get mad at yourself. It's like, oh, what am I doing? I'm so stupid. And then it's like you just keep going and going and going. But no, if you stop before you get mad at yourself and you remind yourself, okay, I see the issue. Let's fix it. It's really helpful actually, because it's a torturous thing to. I think everybody does it to some extent. They have something that they do that they don't like, and people end up, they like chew away, they like chomp at the bit to themselves, and it can really get to you, because it's like, fuck, what am I doing? And I I see that in myself when I work, because in my schoolwork, I I had an idea to do a homework speedrun video. I got 2 hours into that video, got really upset, and because I kind of realized that I'm getting better at forming self-discipline, but the years that I had wasted from earlier had, in a tangible way, gotten in the way of what I wanted to do. Because I went to do algebra, and this is my first year of algebra. It's crazy. my 12th year, actually no, 13th, because it's 12th grade plus kindergarten, so that'd be my 13th year. And yet, there's some gap in my knowledge that's preventing me from doing it, and it's making me stumble. And it makes my procrastination so much worse because I dread it. I the sense of ego and the sense of narcissism I have to not reach out for help. And I ended up reaching out for help when I was doing that video, but I got so mad and so upset because I felt stupid. And I was. But I was stupid because I didn't ask for help. And, well, I waited to ask for help. And I was stupid because I had a moment where I could have experienced growth, but instead of reflecting on that in the moment and going, this is an opportunity to grow, I, I beat myself up over it. And it's helped me to realize that I'm not going to know everything. I want to know everything. And there's that voice in the back, one of the voices in the back of my head, one of them, is that like instinctual, like, oh, you already know everything. But I have to temper that voice because it's not right. It's not okay. You know, it prevents other people from being able to add to a conversation if I'm discussing anything with them. But also, having an inflated ego, really bad. I think so highly of myself. It's like it's one or the other. Either in moments I think of myself as like God's gift to humanity, and then the next moment I think of myself as the biggest piece of human shit. Like I like right now I feel like a big piece of shit. I feel like an asshole. And to some extent I am an asshole. And I I either like I either like see myself much higher than other people, or I see myself as a nobody. And I resonate more with being just some random schmuck. Because at the end of the day, that's all we all are. We're all just random people. And I am, I'm just some random schmuck. And I have to admit that to myself. I want, I want to hope that in the future, if I ever do look back on this, I will be in a position where I'm proud of myself and my decisions that I make in the future. Because right now, I'm in a position where I look at my past decisions and I'm disappointed. I know that hindsight's 2020, but having you look at the past and you want to change it, but you can't. You just can't. And to those listening, I just say it is in the past and it did happen. But it doesn't mean we can't build a better tomorrow. Tomorrow's another day. And I think that's something to walk away with. Anyway, this was just a brief channel update. I hope you all are having a great time. I really do, you know. The summer in North America is rolling around, and it's been beautiful. Spring is coming to a close, and yeah, I hope that you all have a lovely week. Anyway, bye-bye.